So, good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to the third HR talk show conducted by ileadHR. We have with us Mr. Abhinav Pankaj, who's joined us live from Pune. So, just to give you a background of Abhinav, a dear and close friend, he completed his PGD PM from XISS in 2009, and then he started working as a reward and compensation into the domain of reward and compensation, and comes with more than 11 plus years of experience into this domain. He started his career with Tata Steel and then moved on to Kane India, worked with Atter Solutions, to name a few companies that he's worked with. He's currently working as the performance and reward manager at Maersk GSC in Pune, looking after the shared services business for India, China, and Philippines. So I give the stage to Abhinav to take it up and educate us more on total rewards, its inception, its evolution, and where
Rewards, how exactly it impacts our day-to-day working, to use reward as an tool to influence the culture and about rewards future, or how it has evolved. I would take a couple of minutes to discuss about how exactly rewards shape up how was it in rewards from if we trace back the origin of rewards. The origin of rewards would be, probably would be incepted with the human evolution. All the inventions or the incentives for the experimentation that the earlier human have done, like invention of fire or can can be attributed to that would be the which help human to evolve what we are today. Apart from the inception, probably with the interest of time, we'll talk about more about the modern evolution of compensation and rewards as we know it today. This can be traced back to probably around the First World War, when the political and economical unrest forced us to kind of think about how exactly people need to evolve line, wherein he started paying $5 a day to its employees, Mr. Taylor, around initiative and incentive, in which employees were incentivized for the initiatives that they were taking. This era probably would maybe going around from 1910 to 1940, and was really marked with the initial concepts around compensation, that somebody was being compensated for the effort that they were taking in. The second phase probably can be traced back to the Second World War, when the unrest have given way to probably the working class realized that they need to come together in order to kind of create a voice for themselves, which resulted in unionization of labor force, governments coming out with some of the benefits, and these benefits were more or less limited to retirement benefits for them. Evolution of rewards can be said post World War II, before the globalization, wherein most of the motivational theories kind of studied in the impact of rewards on employee motivation and engagement were kind of postulated and kind of confirmed by some of the motivational theorists. Some of the motivational theory could be traced to reinforcement theory or expectancy theory by Victor Room. This was also the time when economists came out with their own economic theory, and rewards became a more than an alien terms. It became the talk of setting up of pay ranges, variable pay plans, all can be attributed to the era where post World War II to the new, which kind of can be traced back as an evolution. Organizations have invested in automation, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. The rewards is organizations are investing in the future of work is right here. Is truly can be mentioned about for the rewards. The entire rewards, if I divide, can be divided into four quadrants. Probably one would be around compensation, the competitive compensation that how organizations set for different set of skills, different set of demography, different set of type of contracts that's coming in. And one of the example could be that this is an era wherein you will find multi-generation, multi-contract employees working for the same organization. The gig workforce is a reality now. And same is with temp workforce. Organizations are investing in the learning and development of their people so that they create more gig workforce or fit for purpose talent for their organization. So compensation needs to be finalized, or compensation needs to be prepared in line with changing talent needs. The other aspect or other vertical of total rewards would be performance linked pay. Sorry, how organizations have evolved their performance pay from a bonus, which is company performed bonus, to more individual linked performance variables. And these forms a tremendous part of an entire value proposition for the organization. And some of the examples could be short-term incentives, long-term incentives, milestone-based pay plan. The third of the aspect of investment under total rewards would be the benefits, how organizations are investing in different various benefits. While the traces of modern benefits can be linked to the post-globalization era, but sorry, it has actually come of age in last 5 to 6 years. Organization talking about flexi time work, teleworking, providing all sort of benefits in related with insurances, leaves. They have come really off age, and this could be linked to the talent maturity that is coming into the organization. Think about probably a manufacturing unit 10 years back. Nobody would have thought about gig workers providing their support to manufacturing. While today, gig workforce in manufacturing is a reality. There are organizations which are investing in learning of their own talent in order to support them towards gig working. So all these benefits have really come of age. And one of the example that I could relate to is the HR framework of Tesla, the organization which says that their employees are free to work for any organization as long as they are working or delivering their KPIs with Tesla. So in true sense, organizations are becoming more fluid. And with that, our rewards philosophy also needs to be more engaging and fluid. The fourth dimension of current total rewards would be can be attributed to wellness schemes. With the coming of age workforce, the stress is a day-to-day reality. organizations realize that when they ask employees to deliver on their KPIs, they also need to take care of their employees so that they bring their best self to the organization. We all bring different personas when we come to organization, and as an organization, when we invest in the benefit in the wellness of our employees, that's where they can bring in their best persona to the organization. So of late, organizations have started investing big time into wellness, and wellness can probably be again divided into four parts. One of the aspects would be around physical wellness, investment in their annual health checks, realizing that how employees are doing in terms of their physical health. Second, wellness intervention these days, which are very famous, is around emotional wellness. Realizing the level of stress that has gone up, organizations are investing to provide emotional support to its employees so that they can talk to the experts in case they are facing any emotional challenges, be it professional or personal. The third of the dimension around wellness could be financial. How exactly world is changing, employees need to aware about their financial wellness so that they could create a financial independence for them in longer run. And the fourth aspect would be around social. How exactly as an organization we provide our employees with an avenues to connect with the society at large. So, if I have to sum up total rewards as a definition, it would be in these four quadrants of compensation, performance based pay, benefits, and wellness. And organizations are investing a lot of time and effort in order to create more engaging value proposition around these four aspects. How exactly these four interplay in order to create an engaging and motivated workforce. Probably a couple of minutes around the interplay of total rewards. Compensation has come of age in last couple of years, and it is being also, as they say, necessity is the mother of invention. With talent work for different demography coming into the organization, it becomes very obvious for organization to create a more engaging, differentiated, and personalized compensation plan for its different set of employees. Think about 10 years back when everybody was working for 9 to 5 kind of a job. Today, stability to one organization has paved way for employability across the organization. You have your permanent workforce, you have temp workforce, you have your gig workforce working in tandem together across multi-generation, with each generation having their own different needs. Apart from that, organizations are also investing or incubating startups to provide more customized solution in an agile way. The entire environment of an organization is changing, and hence there is a larger need to revise or relook at our compensation proposal. And that's where different contracts for different segment of talent has is a reality today. While we are talking about a full-time workforce, FTEs at a different compensation plan, at different benchmark plans, there are also gig workforce which works at hourly or at a different rates that organizations are investing in. The second aspect of performance-based pay, that's also changing. How would you define performance of a startup which is only linked to you for say 2 months in a year? They come, they deliver their project and move out. How would you keep them engaged with your rewards proposition? One of the way is obviously milestone based payment or milestone based bonus to keep them engaged, but it also goes beyond just to kind of provide them with the payments or take care of their compensation. Organizations are also investing in elevating the thought process of startups by investing in coaching and learnability of the startups that people are working in. The entire ecosystem of new age workforce has revolutionized the way compensation and performance based pay are being designed. The third of the aspects around benefits, how the new age workforce is providing or is kind of creating a very engaging benefits for its employees. uh, we don't need to look back. I think teleworking or flexi time was probably people could have only dreamt about them 5 years back. But today, almost 90% of the companies are providing teleworking or flexi pay to its employees. More than clocking in and out time in the office has given way for productivity. You are matured and you are expected to deliver on your results, deliver it from wherever you want to work. So those are the aspects which has become a reality because of our changing talent needs. Some of the other unique benefits that organizations are investing these days, and needless to say, product organizations are kind of leading the way, is providing their employees with their own time off. They can do whatever they want to do in those time off. They can come to office, use office stuffs to kind of invest in their learning, invest in their growth, invest in whatever they want to do. And organizations are happy to kind of fund it for their employees. More than organizational specific benefits has given way for personalized benefits. Organizations are investing in technology to define or personalize the experience around benefits. And then the last piece of total rewards, which is around wellness has come of age big time in last 2-3 years. uh, Take out any organization, the entire talk of total rewards has been around how to keep our employees invested in their wellness. Annual health checks or options to give them talk to any of the emotional experts has already evolved to an extent that organizations are talking about providing group discounts, or just by virtue of being associated with an organization, you get some sort of discounts of buying products. So these are some of the cool wellness intervention that organizations have done to engage their employees. So this is what it takes about total what it talks about total rewards and its evolution. uh, Before I move back or move forward to the future of rewards, we really need to understand what is impacting future of rewards, and how exactly future of work is being created. Industrial Revolution 4.0 has truly changed the entire demography of world organization. uh, as per World Economic Forum report, if you probably have seen a couple of years back reports, the automated real intervention versus human participation to workforce probably could have been around 70% of humans and 30% of automated work force supporting the organization. However, the reality is changing. Today, probably we can talk about it's around 60-40. However, the World Economic Forum predicts that by 2025, there would be 60% of organizational KPIs will be delivered by artificial intelligence and automated chatbots, and only 40% of organization probably would be human driven. This change in the entire ecosystem is also changing the way we are looking rewards. We need to design rewards to engage employees who are not full time, who are coming, delivering a project, and moving out. Stability with one organization needs to pave way for employability across organization. We need to create contracts which while uh, while it is flexible for employees to go across and work with multiple organizations, but it also should work on the all the confidential information not moving out of the organization. So rewards that ways has a very important role to play in coming future. The future is really exciting. The experience, probably 10 years back, when we were talking about reward experience, the shelf life of those experiences were really high. But if you talk about today, probably these experiences are only 6 months or 7 months into the shelf life, and organizations are changing the way their employee experience very fast, and in order to remain relevant, they're changing it almost very dynamically. uh, with this, I think the entire ecosystem is for rewards is changing, and the future is kind of very exciting. And I hope that this changing environment will provide us with scope to not only look at these four aspects of rewards, but also get into where we kind of link the entire value proposition or entire employee experience, like be it talking about investment in their learning, and how it is impacting their career progression, or investment in their career progression, how it is resulting into productivity. uh, the one of the important aspect in future would be how, as reward professionals, we analyze these sort of data that is being created, how a reward scheme or how a performance based scheme is impacting the productivity of the organization. All these things will be more important for us as a reward professional, because some of us, while it would be supported by technology, but some of us, it needs to be creatively created by reward professionals. And I think this would be probably the future would be truly exciting in terms of the organizations, how they are evolving, the how rewards is evolving. And I think we are at the right place at the right time. So probably this was a short snippet around how exactly rewards is shaping up, or what exactly the total rewards is all about. In case if there are any questions, or any thing that I should talk about more, probably Kanika, I'll be more than happy to talk about them.
Thanks, Abhinav, for giving us an overview of what total rewards are. There are a couple of questions that I would want you to address at this point in time. So, we talk about total rewards, right? And you mentioned about what comprises of total rewards, starting from compensation to performance based pay, benefits, and wellness. And you spoke about each one of it at details. So, want to
Right.
understand from you, why do we call it total rewards and not total pay?
Interesting question. So total pay, to my mind, it still revolves somewhere around compensation, or a monetary returns on invested effort. As I was mentioning, that rewards is all sort of returns that an organization pays to its employees for its invested effort, and it goes beyond those paychecks or salaries that an employee gets month on month. Some of the cool initiatives that organizations have taken is, say for example, some of the high performers, their insurances schemes are being revised. So say for example, if an organization has a medical coverage of say INR 350,000 for its norm for its consistent performance employee, some of the high performers get it to the tune of INR 500,000 to INR 700,000. All these interventions, which goes beyond the paychecks of an employee, is resulting in creating more of an engaging ecosystem. And since it goes beyond the compensation philosophy, or just beyond the salaries of an employee, and hence the entire ecosystem is called total rewards, because it creates, or it proposes beyond compensation returns on the effort that employees are investing.
Okay. So yes, total rewards is beyond. So it is the total beyond the total compensation that the employees are getting.
Right.
So
Probably, if we can put it that way, that it's a total employee experience that an organization is creating. Today, with the employees having employability across organization, these days product or companies are investing in talent from manufacturing, engineering, and shared services. They are hiring talent, training them, and creating fit for purpose skill sets in them. World over, organizations are investing a lot in coaching and learnability of their employees, because what they are doing today is going to be irrelevant tomorrow. Today we talk about quite a bit of cool languages like Python and Hadoop, but trust me, in coming 2 3 years they will be like what we face for C sharp or C++ kind of languages. So what is more important is that we continue to invest in our employees and make them future relevant. And all this investment, which creates employee experience, forms the aspect of total rewards. Sorry, Kanika, I
Oh,
think you're
sorry.
on
Yes, yes, yes. So
worries.
coming back, Abhinav, another question that I have. You've spoken about startup also during our discussion. So want to understand now that startups are there and with minimum, say, finance, how do they attract talent? Given the concept of total reward that you've just spoken, how is that they attract talent, and what is that they need to do in order to retain the talent with them, but keeping in mind the limited budget that these startups have. So would want your inputs also onto that.
Sure. Uh, so I think startups has a very positive rewards experience that they could offer to their employees in terms of the value that a startup is creating. But if we pull across or go through any of the survey reports, what is one key aspect that motivates or engages employees, which goes beyond their paychecks or the return, is the association with the purpose of the organization. The startups, by virtue of having an agile work pattern, providing or creating a solution for the entire organization's ecosystem, can easily share those narratives with their employees to create a shared purpose or shared success stories for organization. However, needless to say, you also need to be a little more I would say organizations or startups need to be a little more flexible in their approaches as far as they design their compensation plan, because we all know that it runs on funding. As long as the funding keeps coming in, probably our startups will keep investing in its people. So one of the trend that I've seen organization investing in is more of a milestone based rewards for the employees working in startups. Startups create value for their incubators. They create some sort of solutions for the entire their customer base. That solution is being sold, and whatever money that they get then kind of can distribute it in terms of milestone based bonus. So it needs to be a little low on the fixed aspect of the rewards, but high on the variable or probably milestone based part of the rewards. And that's in general organization how they are creating that reward ecosystem in startup phase. The other thing obviously is a narrative that once a startup grows, the employees also grow along with that. So that also goes on to show that organizations are investing beyond the compensation. Rewards is just one aspect of the overall narratives for the startup. Sorry, I think I'm losing out on your voice, Kanika. You're on mute, it
Yes,
seems.
yes. Now we're back. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So we missed the
Yeah.
last part, but then yeah. So what I understand is startup should now be using milestone-based reward system to attract and retain talent.
Yes. And these milestone probably will give or could be a win-win situation for both the employee of the startups as well as the startups in itself, who are still making a mark on their organizational journey.
That's great. So, Abhinav, there are a couple of questions that we are also getting from people who've joined from different forums. So, one question which has come up is how often should an organization review its reward policy in order to stay competitive? So, what are your views on reviewing the reward strategy for an organization?
And it's very dependent on the organization, or the kind of sector that an organization is in. There are organizations which create their strategy once in probably every alternate year, in order to see or attract and retain the kind of requirement of talent that they are in. However, off late, with the dynamics changing, the entire ecosystem, or the economics or political environment of the globe changing, the rewards philosophies are also very fluid. They are being changed. If you see and let's take an example from the projects that rewards professional does. One of the earlier example was salary review exercise, which used to say or informed as annual salary review, which
Right.
was done once in a year. With changing environment, with lots of startups coming in, with lots of product organization investing in, the entire narrative around salary review has changed. Organizations are investing as and when required into the talent, basis the value that they are creating. So that ways, the entire strategy is rather than it has become very outward looking rather than inward looking. So organizations are changing their philosophy and their strategy basis the market realities. And there would be no organization which will say that I will only review my strategy after 1 year or after 2 years. It is, you live by the day and you die by the day, as they say. So every day there is a different reality. And one of the data point that I could share about changing reward strategy is that in India, as on today, there are about close to 1,700 in-house centers which are currently working for different organizations. All these organizations vie for similar kind of talent. Now, as an organization, you really need to be up on your toe to kind of retain and engage your performers for the organization. And it can't be done if you revise your strategy every at a fixed frequency rate. You need to be a little more agile that way. Keep iterating with your philosophy, keep changing your philosophy, and create fit for purpose rewards platform or rewards portfolio for your employees. Another aspect around this would be how you are segmenting your talent. Probably 5 years earlier, organization had very similar kind of talent, or they would put all their talents into very typical job families. Now, with all these artificial intelligence or machine learning changing the entire look and feel of the organization, the talent segmentation is the key, and it can't be done over at a frequency of a year or so. You have to kind of understand what is key, what is actually creating value for the organization in the present context, and create or curate your rewards strategy accordingly. So it's very dynamic. I wouldn't say it's on a frequency base that it is rewards strategies are being revised every 6 months or a year, but organizations are being agile in terms of their reward strategy. And it is you are curating your rewards basis the need that an organization has.
Okay, so we understand that agility is the important key when we plan or when we strategize the rewards. Right,
Precisely.
right.
Now, the agile organization needs to be supported by agile rewards philosophies.
Right. So, Abhinav, there's another question which has come from one of our say viewer, and so they're asking that many a times employees complain that there's certain components in the reward package which they do not understand. And again, going back to the scenario when you and me had joined, say 10, 12 years back, we were on the similar page. So, so can anything be done in this scenario? Because like when I also deal with employees on the compensation package, there are a lot of questions that come. Okay, now this is what something that I have in hand, and this is something which is like part of a benefit. So, what are your views to tackle such situation?
And great question. And I think, uh, and not from the rewards perspective, but my payroll colleagues keep receiving such queries from their employees that what exactly has been those deductions in their monthly paychecks, or what are some of the components that are being paid for. So definitely one of the key opportunity for improvement in rewards is how could we simplify our reward offerings, how could we make it easily understandable to our employees. So making it simple, transparent, and communicating it in the right forums is an important aspect to create an understanding for our employees. And I would link it back to one of the total rewards philosophy that I was sharing: financial wellness. Elevating the thought process of an employee to understand their compensation, to understand what exactly they are being paid for, is an important role of rewards professionals. We need to create forums, platforms wherein employee can ask their questions and understand that what exactly organizations are paying them for and what are those components. Gone are the days when compensation used to be very confidential information. Go to any of the websites like LinkedIn, Glassdoor, and other websites, and you'll find a typical salary range for a role. So probably each employee knows that what they are worth in the in the wider market. So it would be really difficult to keep it under confidential and a very cumbersome rewards breakup. And back home, if we see an example in India, the government is also taking initiatives where they are trying to simplify all the wage bill. So the idea of creating a single wage bill is coming from the simplification of the entire rewards offering that probably as a country India can have. Because for last 50 odd years we have created way too many acts to govern our compensation, and probably this is the time when we probably could simplify things.
Rightly said, Abhinav. So last 50 years, a lot of effort has gone into like revising the compensation thing, right? So Abhinav,
Right, right.
we have another person who's wanting to understand that what are the concept or what is the concept of personalized reward. Now again, understanding that reward or total reward is something which is organization wide. How, what is personalized reward, and what are your views whether reward should be personalized or it should be, say, organization wide philosophy which should be followed by companies?
See, I think with the changing talent demography, it probably is not in the hand of organization to kind of create a single reward statement and say that, this is your reward, try to decipher it. We will have to create more personalized experience for our employees. And I'll just link it back to the time when I was sharing that segmentation is going to be the key. How you are segmenting, personalizing those reward offering for a different set of your employees. This is an era where you'll find multi-generation baby boomers to the Gen Z, or the next probably generation coming in together. Each of them have got their different expectation, different they want different experience from their employer, and employer will have to live up to that expectation, because that's how you create an overall employee experience and an engaging workforce. So I really don't think when an organization says that we will not be able to customize, is the actually is in their hands. We have to personalize, we have to give options, flexibility in their rewards. Today one of my employee wants quite a bit of things in their fixed salary, while some of them wants a piece of it goes to their retirement and insurance benefits. As an organization, we will have to create that flexibility for an employee to choose what exactly they want in terms of their rewards from the organization.
So, Abhinav, this brings me to another question. So, now that you just mentioned that organizations have to be flexible enough and give opportunities to employees to decide what they want in their, or which component they want to be fixed and flexible in their compensation. So, given a larger organization or larger setup, uh, as an audience, I would also like to understand how is that you manage such things, because again, each component is different. And if the number of employees in an organization shoots up to say 5 digit or 6 digit, managing this would be difficult. So are there any softwares which are in place, or how do you do that?
So yes, probably doing it manually would have been a nightmare. So technology is kind of taking away jobs, but it is also making life simpler for the employees who are still working with the organization. So that quite a bit of softwares, or I would say the platforms available, wherein organization invest to create a more customized solution for its employees. One of the some of the HR systems could be success factors by SAP, Workday, and back home, if you find, there are plenty of other local players, like there are plenty of different players who provide these unique solutions, wherein an organization can customize their offerings, or can create a platform wherein an organization, wherein an employee goes on, and then they can decide upon their breakup of their rewards. And one of the global player is Mercer. So what happens, they have a platform, and then let's understand it as a narrative of navigation. You have compensation, you have benefits investment by organization or employer, you have wellness intervention or being invested by organization. There are a lot of many things which are being done around recognition of employees, because recognizing them is also an important tool to keep them engaged. All these are kind of created on a platform wherein an employee has a choice to kind of plug and play on their rewards basis how exactly their need is. So say, for example, as I was mentioning, some of them may want a high percentage of their overall total rewards towards their compensation. Some may want a large chunk to go get into their benefits. Some may want to utilize some of the paid services around wellness, so on and so forth. So there are platforms available to do that. How many organizations are doing it is still very limited number of organizations. But I think with the evolution of talent workforce that we are kind of seeing now, I think it is only a matter of time when almost a large chunk of organizations realize that probably segmentation and flexibility would be the key going forward.
Okay. Thanks, Abhinav, for putting in light on that. So during this talk, you also mentioned about recognition. So again, going by the philosophy of reward, recognition, compensation, incentive, what and how would you define recognition, and how does it differ from reward?
I would say it's still a part of total rewards. Recognition forms, and when I was trying to bifurcate into four quadrants, recognition was more an implicit part which comes under benefits, or a probably performance based pay, that an organization try to recognize its employees for the effort. Some of the organization also does it for the result, but mostly an organization recognize for the efforts which may not have resulted in successful result, but an employee has still invested time and effort towards that. So and pick up any study that goes on to show that a recognized employee, or a timely acknowledgement of efforts, creates a more engaging workforce or ecosystem for organization. And these recognition need not to be coming from up the ladder, or from the manager or manager's manager. Even a peer group recognition plays a very important role. And it's not only related with monetary, but even a plain simple thank you said on a forum that you have done a great job goes a long way in creating a high engaging employee for an organization.
Rightly said. Even a small thank you or a pat on the back does a lot of uh, yes,
Exactly.
puts a lot of stress, and the employees really get motivated, and especially Gen Z and millennials who are more of say people with external locus of control, and they look for say
Right.
recognition from outside.
Yeah, completely agree.
Right.
And one of the aspect, and one of the important aspect around all these experiences is that they also create an avenue for a business model. So there are plenty of organizations which are being created purely from the fact that organization invest in recognition of their employees. All these portals or platforms provide a single click avenue for an employee to kind of recognize or acknowledge other employees. Managers can acknowledge their teams for any good job done on the go. So they don't have to wait for, say, for example, a quarterly recognition program to be celebrated in the organization to recognize people. Organizations are investing in technology to create a real-time acknowledgement for its employees. And it's like internal Facebook. Somebody has done a great job, manager or peer group says that, and put it on the intranet of the organization. So that's the evolution rewards has seen in past 5-7 years uh, across the domain of its components.
Right. I remember way back 2015 when I was devising the reward and recognition package. So we separated reward as one part of it and recognition as
Right.
another. And we picked up the smaller things and we had devised the entire recognition for Oracle, for the entire Oracle. We started with business intelligence and then took it up at a global level. Yes.
Right.
Smaller things do matter.
Exactly, and they go a long way.
Yes, especially engaging employees, like I just mentioned, Gen Z and millennials, more of people who are looking for, say, appreciation, more of people who are looking for more recognition. For them, it
Yes,
does matter. Okay.
exactly.
Now, there's another question which has come from our audience. Uh, what they're mentioning is what role. So all this while we've heard that it is not necessary top driven, and right now you just mentioned that it can be a peer driven also. But somewhere the audience, as in what they've written is that leadership plays an important role in the success of total reward policy. Why is it so? And what role does leadership play in total reward? We would want to understand more from
Sure.
you on this.
So leadership does play an important role, but I think more important role is played by the rewards professional to create that need or an appetite in the organization for the rewards intervention. And I think over a period of time, I've seen leaders who are more open and more they will see things how it is happening on the ground. So no leader would like to keep their rewards practices archaic and see their engaged workforce going out. So I think more than leadership, and obviously leaders play an important role in creating your total rewards philosophy, but I think I would put a more emphasis on rewards professional to create the need of an intervention, or creating that appetite in the organization for those rewards intervention, which they feel is going to be the key for the success of the organization. The data analysis and analyzing your entire data sets, be it performance data, engagement data, or the productivity data, how exactly it leads, or how some of your interventions are either helping or not helping the organization. All these key inputs needs to be created in terms of a narrative or a story and presented to your leaders to take appropriate decision for the organization.
So Abhinav, I have one another question. So what is your suggestion to the students, especially people who are studying general management or HRM at different organizations across the country? What is your suggestion or what are inputs that they can take back from you?
I think a couple of things: be agile and open. So, what motivational theory which started or which are relevant today, but they are also evolving with the humankind, or the humans as a humans, how we are evolving. So, say for example, when we say that there's Victor Vroom's expectancy theory, which says that employees are, or individuals are being driven by the outcome of an event, and their effort goes or they put in their effort thinking that thinking on the positivity or negativity of that outcome. However, some of the Gen Z will, they are not thinking about the outcome at all, because at times people love the journey more than the destination. They really like the way organizations are creating an ecosystem. So obviously, rewards does so salaries or compensation does play an important role, but it is beyond that. And hence, one of the suggestion would be to just be open and agile. There would be failure coming along the way, but fail fast, learn fast, and then create your not only with rewards, but the entire HR domain, be it learning, be it recruitments, be it talent management, everywhere. Try to experiment and create a solution which is more successful, or which is more value added for the organization. And second, would suggest that I've seen rewards as an HR professional, or quite a bit of other professionals as well. They tend to move out of their move out of from their basics. So nobody kind of goes back and studies once they get into the job. So probably another suggestion would be to keep yourself updated. Books are not the source of knowledge. Rewards are the source of knowledge.
Uh, Abhinav, I think we lost you, unable to hear you. Hello? Abhinav, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Okay. So there was some network error and we lost you there. I'm so sorry.
No, no worries.
Okay. So Abhinav, you did speak about say what are the students' takeaway, but again from reward and recognition perspective, because again when I look at it from a tier two, tier three cities or colleges in these cities, exposure to students around different aspects of HR is not there. So what would you suggest people on say total rewards, and what is the future for these students in total rewards?
So sorry, if I understand your question, Kanika. So what the students can do to value add in their profile was first question. Was
Yes,
that the
value
question?
add, yes. And second, where do they or what lies in total rewards for these students? As in, what is the future of total rewards for these students?
So the first one, as in, I think the advent of technology and online courses has blurred that tier one or tier three cities gap. Today, the online courses are available on your mobile, on your laptop, and then you only need to find the right source for right education. There are courses available on Coursera or Edumi. You go onto these sites and uh, you know uh, probably participate in some of the courses over there. What exactly total rewards as a support is there? As in, I think organizations are looking at an exciting future of rewards, because they know that the changing demography, changing talent needs is also asking for changing rewards portfolio or rewards offering for its employees. So the future is really exciting. I think the only thing would be to just whenever they get an opportunity, to just put their hands up and say that, yeah, here I am. I'm willing to take this risk. I'm willing to take up this project and deliver to the best of my ability. So those are a couple of things probably I would suggest them.
Thank you, Abhinav. So, audience who are there who've joined us on Zoom, do you have any questions from Abhinav? You can post it in the chat box, and we can take it up one by one. Okay, so we have one of the audience who's asking when is the next module. Surely, Nikhil, we will plan something soon with Abhinav. into details of the four quadrants that he's spoken, and we'll be posting it up on our Facebook page of ileadHR, and also through different groups which are there. Any other questions? I hope, Nikhil, I answered to your question. Great, thank you so much. People, any other questions that you have from Abhinav? I will just look into the other forum as well. Okay. I think, Abhinav, no questions from the audience. I would like to thank you a lot for taking out this time and educating us on, say, what total reward is, how did it evolve, what are the four quadrants of total reward, starting with compensation, pay-based, performance-based pay, benefits, and wellness, and where is that the organizations are focusing in terms of wellness. What I also liked during our conversation was that kids these days, they like journey more than the destination, which reminds me of my favorite say phrase that I often use in the companies and students when I train them, that it is the results which will be rewarded, efforts are never rewarded, though people like putting in a lot of effort, but at the end of the day it is the results that matter most. uh,
Yeah.
we also liked what you shared on the future work which is being created, and 60% of the organizational KPIs going by artificial intelligence, and where 40% will be more of human driven, say somewhere around 2025. And change in ecosystem is what you mentioned is the key. Thank you so much once again. And people who are there on the call, if you have any questions, do post it to us. And Abhinav and I will be more than happy to address it for you online and offline again. Thank you. Abhinav, thank you once again. Before we end up, anything that you would want to say here?
And I would just say awesome, and it was great connecting with or e-connecting with fellow HR professionals or students, talking about my probably could share the last 10 years of my experience, that how I have seen the organizations evolving. Probably, I hope that was able to add some value towards total rewards, or the concepts around total rewards. So yeah, uh, the feeling is awesome. Thanks, Kanika, for organizing this wonderful session, and thanks to your team for setting up this into this virtual world. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Abhinav, and we'll connect with you again.
All right. Thanks. Thanks
Yeah,
a
thank
lot.
you. Thanks all. Tata.
Take care.
Yeah, bye
Bye.
bye. Thank you.
Bye.